What is up, Teachers on Fire? How are you today? I hope you had a great week. I want to tackle this question. Should teachers attend private student performances completely outside of school? All right, that's the question that I want to tackle, and I've got some thoughts on this because I have some very recent experience here. First of all, let's set the stage and say that teaching is an amazing and rewarding space to work in. I mean, we all love children. That's why we entered the profession. And it is deeply satisfying in ways that few other lines of work can be. But let's also acknowledge that teaching can be utterly exhausting, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, just about in any way that you can think of. Teaching can be tough. It takes a lot from us. So in the third term of last year, I was invited to 3 different student performances happening outside of school. And I think they were gymnastics, musical, and some sort of a musical performance. So a play musical and a musical performance. And I would have loved to attend all 3 of them. I love the children involved. I would have loved to come out to support them, but I actually declined all 3. I didn't go to any of them. Now, you know these students mean well. I mean, it's touching, it's humbling even that they want us there. They want us in the stands, in the bleachers, in the seats, cheering them on, bearing witness to this amazing product, whatever it happens to be, of their preparation and practice. And often they do have really exceptional skills that we don't always get to see in the classroom setting. And so for that reason, it is an honor to be invited. And you can't blame parents either. I mean, their parents obviously have faith in you if you receive this kind of an invitation that you are invested in their child's life. And so the whole thing is really touching. But when I think about teachers being invited to these kinds of performances, as a part-time vice principal, I get a little bit feisty about teacher time and energy. School-sanctioned events, school official events are already a big ask when you think about Meet the Teacher Night and school barbecues and band concerts and parent conferences and field trips that go long. And there's a handful of days throughout the calendar where teachers are already being asked to stay at the school for an extra long period of time, which cuts into their precious evening time. On top of that, many teachers are also parents, meaning they might go to a band concert one night as a teacher, supervising teacher or conductor or whatever it might be, and then the next night they're attending their son's band concert. I've been there. Add in multiple children and now you've got multiple nights. Now I know a lot of those nights are a credit to their role as parents, which is totally fine, but when you think about teachers, and that's my focus today, this is the complete picture of school-required events and then parent events that they are already attending. And of course, I don't have to tell you teachers that all of these evening events are already taking place on top of all of the other demands that teachers must contend with outside of school time. Things like lesson planning and unit planning and feedback on learning activities and IEP communication and email and administrivia. And some of you are getting cold sweats just listening to that list because you know that it piles up constantly and there's almost nothing we can do about it. It's kind of part of the job. But that is part of the complete picture that we're talking about when a parent and a student come to us and say, hey, can you attend our personal student performance? You know, speaking of family life, we've got to talk about something else, and that is the constant shadow or cloud of guilt that many teachers feel to begin with. I'm talking about the partner guilt, the parent guilt, the friend guilt, the family member guilt, all the guilt that they feel constantly in the background for not being present, not being as emotionally available as they want to be, not spending the time and the energy that they would really like to be spending or feel they should be spending on loved ones. That is often a factor going on in the background for a lot of teachers. Now, take that load of constant tasks being added from the school responsibility side of things and the parent and partner guilt that many teachers experience, and imagine them sitting through a 2-hour musical for a child related to an event that is not even officially sanctioned by the school. And you start to see the problem. You see, that teacher sitting there is really tired, and their partner or the children, if they have any, they're waiting back at home. And lessons are waiting to be planned. So this picture doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yes, it would be a touching gesture on the part of any teacher, and we have so many wonderful teachers out there who are making exactly that move by going to football games and concerts and performances to show support. But in my mind, it's just not fair to ask that of teachers. Not in 2022. There's another important reason for teachers to decline these kinds of invitations, and it has to do with the power of precedent. Many well-meaning parents and even teachers may not see this at first, but here's how it goes. You see, if Mr. Chen says yes to attend Jackie's figure skating championship, it kind of increases the pressure on him now to also say yes to Jenny's violin recital and Milo's swim meet and Eva's musical, and on it goes. How can he say yes to some and not to others? That can be a really dangerous move if you live in a middle school world. Even worse, it raises pressure on colleagues to attend other events. And you may say, well, no big deal, they can't go. If Mr. Chan can go, great. But I would say, in terms of mental health of teachers, let's be careful about the kinds of norms and expectations that we are setting up, right? So if we are telling teachers this is great, you should go ahead and consider doing this and attending performances on the one hand, it's kind of hard to support that teacher that establishes that boundary and decides to stay home and never attend these kinds of events. It puts them in a bad light. This whole issue is real for me because last year I was in a meeting with a colleague and we were across the table from two parents who are dear to our community. And they asked, in the course of the conversation, they asked my colleague point blank, can we just ask you why you didn't attend our daughter's musical? Well, I didn't like the question one bit, and I didn't like the implication that she should have been there for their daughter. I think that's a lot to ask, and it's a heavy burden to put on any teacher, as I've made the case so far. But I was quiet in that moment, and I allowed my colleague to answer this difficult question. I think if I was in that situation again, I would want to jump in and say, hey, listen, she said no because we encourage all of our teachers to say no to student performances happening outside of school for the reasons that I've just discussed. You see, and this point is really important, teacher health and wellness is something that doesn't happen by accident. It comes with intentionality and strategy and discrimination. Discrimination that says, I'm going to say yes to the things that are real priorities for me right now, and I'm going to say no to other things because I have to protect myself. I have to set up this boundary and live within the safety of that boundary. If you think about money for a moment, none of us have unlimited sums of money, especially if we're in education, right? We can't just go around giving money to whoever asks us for money. And the same way, even, by the way, even if the reasons for the request are really, really good, by the same token, we can't operate that way with our time. We have to discriminate, we have to be selective, we have to be intentional, and it's fair to say no to some requests. So parents, I want you to know that we love you so dearly, especially in my community right now. I love our parents. They are invested. They are committed. They want their children to grow and succeed and flourish in every possible way. We thank you for that support. Parents, I'm going to ask for your help now in allowing our teachers to be their best selves, to keep the joy in their work and the fire in their eyes. Help them to be teachers on fire instead of teachers burning out. Help us protect the emotional bandwidth that teachers need to reserve in order to be kind and thoughtful and generous with the little people that you put into their care every single day. So parents, when it comes to your beautiful children and their fabulous student performances, and we know how hard they've worked and how worthy they are of recognition and honor, we're going to ask that you think about sharing some pictures or maybe share a video link. And we don't promise to watch all of the video, but we'd love to share in some small way, share our blessing and support with your child. We'd love to do that. But please don't ask your child's teacher to give up an entire evening of their time to attend that performance, because as I've shown today, there are a lot of dominoes that fall when they do that. Thank you, parents for helping us out. Thank you for protecting teacher sanity. And thank you for being invested in your child's growth and learning. We appreciate you. Hey Teachers on Fire, I hope this video was helpful in some way and encouraging. Maybe it'll help you make a case for something in your community, but either way, thanks for sticking around with me and engaging in this important question and conversation. Watch one of these 2 videos here and subscribe to the channel. I'd be super grateful. And until next time, thank you for all you do. Keep teaching on fire.